This is Birkwood Lock. It's near Wakefield, and as you can see from the balance beam on top, it's rotting away. There's not much left of it. But what do you do if you need a new lock gate or need to repair one?
This isn't a canal. I feel a bit weird. Are we in the wrong vlog?
We've snuck in somewhere.
We have sneaked into the workshops at Stanley Ferry, where the Canal and River Trust make canal lock gates. They knew we were coming and scarpered, that's where it is, innit?
They've all disappeared.
Oh, the foxes are coming, come on, we're going.
Camera's out, I'm off.
No, we are allowed in here, honestly. They've just gone for a break. That's what they've told us anyway.
Yeah.
So this is the workshop where they make the canal gates, about half of the canal gates for all of the canals in Britain. And we've come today to find out exactly how they do it.
The Stanley Ferry workshop near Wakefield is one of only 2 places in the UK where canal lock gates are built and refurbished by the Canal and River Trust. The other one is in Braidley near Birmingham. Between them, they make about 200 individual handcrafted gates every year for canal locks across the system. The original workshops here were built in the 1850s, and about 20 years later the navigation company built their offices right next door. They took over the dry dock and the building, and they built some new bigger workshops. Now back then they made 58-foot long cargo boats, and they also fixed Tom Puddings as well. And they did that until the Second World War, but from the 1960s the workshop moved to just making lock gates, and that's what they've been doing ever since. Here to explain how the process starts, and is our guide for the day around the workshops, it's the Canal and River Trust's Andrew Bayliss.
Well, first of all, we have some inspectors who inspect the actual lock gates for quality and things like that, and they grade them from 1 to 5. 1 is basically when it's actually brand new, and grade 5 is when they need to be replaced. The grade 5 ones will actually be produced into a list, which then will actually come to the workshops, and then what we will do is we will go out and measure and survey the actual lock gate, take sizes on site, and then the sizes will come back to the workshops, which then we will produce a drawing to go down to the factory floor. This is a lock gate for the London region, and we will now send all the sizes for the timbers to our supplier, and that timber should be within us in the workshops within about 3 weeks. At Stanley Ferry we tend to do the larger gates. Braidley do gate sizes up to probably the Grand Union design, which is about an average size for what the Canal and River Trust have on their network.
Once the gates have been surveyed and the plans drawn up on the computer, the team get to work on making the new lock gates ready for the next season of winter closures. It all starts with some freshly delivered big lumps of wood.
These are the bars of the actual lock gate, which have just been planed up. We will take it away shortly to start manufacturing the gates. It's British oak, FSC certification. We can tell whereabouts in the country it's been felled and when it was felled. For every tree we actually chop down, I believe we actually replace 3 trees. From here we will go over onto the workstation and we'll set the gate out.
From there it comes onto these timber balks, and we basically set the gates out just in the shape of the actual lock gate itself, and we mark all the components what we need for the lock gate, and then goes onto the machines to be manufactured.
The processes involved in building these gates hasn't really changed much over the last few decades. This hydraulic mortiser cuts rectangular holes that the other gate pieces fit into. This machine alone is over 40 years old and it's still going strong today. It hammers in a square chisel into the wood and it creates a perfect mortise hole. With the mortise holes cut in the main vertical bars of our new lock gate, it's time to move on to the horizontal pieces that fix across the bars. These bring them tightly together.
The guys have marked them out, set them out on the box, as we said previously. They've been gauged, as you can see. And then what we do basically, we cut the 2 shoulders with a circular saw, and these will actually go into the tenor machine, which will take the waste material out.
Oh, at last some big machinery in action. The bars are moved across the workshop on this 12-ton crane. It's fixed to rails running the whole length of this workshop, and the horizontal bars brought into position, and then the shoulder is cut to the exact measurement that's in the plans.
As you can see, they've taken all the waste material off down to the line, which gives a nice tight fit on the tenon. This little piece here, which we've left on, this will be taken off, and then it'll be plain nice and smooth to give a nice finish. Some of the bars need further mortise holes putting in, and this is a mortise hole which we've got to go onto the machine shortly to produce the square hole. This forms the actual framework where the clout opening is at the bottom of the lock gate.
Accuracy is vital because each gate is custom made for one particular lock, so it has to be ready to be installed during the scheduled winter programme. Now here at Stanley Ferry they've only ever made one mistake in 40 years. That's pretty good going. They are rare, but it can be quite costly. A pair of new lock gates can cost anything up to about £30,000, so just one wrong measurement could result in a long canal closure. A pretty expensive mistake.
This is a gate which has been assembled. We've got the horizontal members of the gate and the vertical pieces. The gates are assembled, pulled up nice and tight. These pieces here is our L plates placed on each horizontal piece. One of these on this side and the reverse side, bolted through and sandwiched up to make a nice tight fit. The metal bars are what we call a tie bar. This enables us to assemble the gate nice and tight, and they just give a bit of extra strength for the gate to make them last 25 years. This is one of the vertical pieces. This is rounded off. This is what we call a heel post in this neck of the woods. This is actually goes to the wall side of the actual lock. It has a pin at the bottom or a pot at the bottom of the vertical piece, and that's what enables the gate to pivot. This is what we call a mitre hoop. It's just basically to stop the timber from splitting. They are manufactured individually to the individual lock because all gates on the network doesn't have the same mitre. Every lock gate has a different mitre. These are manufactured here on site. We have two welders, and they manufacture all the steel work for the actual lock gates.
The gates made here are meant to last between 25 and 30 years, so a lot of work goes into making each one as strong and watertight as possible. So with the main bars cut and assembled, it's time to add the final pieces of timber.
So the next stage of the gate is we turn the gate over and we put this horizontal planking, 25mm rebate, which allows for shrinkage. We will actually put this down into the rebate, and then we will nail it down into position. So after the planks have been fitted, the next stage in the process is to put a cold plastic door on the lock gates. This is polyurethane door. They're on most regions, and in most cases we can reuse these after 25 years. They're still in operation after 25 years.
With the gate paddles fitted, the gates are moved outside until they're ready to be collected and fitted wherever they're going on the system. But what happens when the gates are finished?
So once the gates are finished, they come out into the yard, and they're stored out here for roughly about 8 months. We're always ahead of the programme for the guys outside who actually fit the gates. We have a big programme to go through, and it takes us a good 12 months to go through that programme. Once they're ready in November to be installed, we will then send them out onto the network. Locally, they will go by boat, but most of the gates will actually go by low loader and IAB to various places in the country. What we do is fill these reveals up with water so the timber doesn't shrink.
Tell you what, it's been fascinating. It's brilliant because we've passed this place like a million times, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And we've always kind of said, oh, it'd be ace to do a vlogging there one day. And we've been really lucky that Canal and River Trust have let us in for the day. They obviously don't know us, but they've let us in, and it's thanks to Andrew and Steve and all the guys here that have shown us around today that we've been able to show you the fascinating process on how these locks are made. Thank you so much. It's
No
been
problems.
ace, hasn't it?
It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you for coming.
Thank you. See you later.
Stay on boat next time. We hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, subscribe. Link is just down at the bottom. And if you hit notifications, YouTube will let you know every time we release a brand new vlog. It's getting a bit breezy. We're off for a cup of tea.
Windy.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Feels naughty, doesn't it? Lock gates, everything.
Do it again.
Do it again. And we're in the workshop. What?
I had my tongue out then because I was going to say something.
There's so many buttons I want to press and I'm not allowed to press any buttons. To find out,
Folding his arms.
just let me press this one. This big red one here. What happens if I press this big red one? It's a sign. Stop laughing, you.
Roy. His ear defenders are good, aren't they? Roy, can you just cut it for 2 secs? Thank you. Rach! As I said, oh God.
It's all right.
As I said, recent. Oh, it's gone.
This is a beautifully rounded length